When things seem worse, you mustn't quit. And you never know how close you are to your goal. And usually you're the closest when it's the hardest. Hi, I'm Kristin Allen, and I'm a freshman in college and a world champion acrobatic gymnast. I had the dream of winning the world championship since I was probably about 10 years old. I wrote it every day in my journal. I just lived it and breathed it. I definitely felt pretty isolated growing up because I was doing something that was so different from what all the other kids were doing. I was training twice a day, 6 days a week for 10 years. My family had to sacrifice a ton. I had coaches tell me that I was in third place instead of first because I was too fat. I definitely really struggled with that. Probably the biggest thing that stood out for me while I was training was that if I wanted to be the best in the world, I had to work harder than anyone else in the world. My dream was to win the World Championships, and my partner Michael Rodriguez and I did that in 2010. The World Championships is pretty much the biggest accomplishment that we can achieve in our sport. And then recently we were inducted into the USA Gymnastics Hall of Fame. And there are amazing parts about it, like standing on the podium and hearing your national anthem, and your whole career and all the challenges that you've gone through kind of flashes before your eyes. And then you wake up the next day after you've actually won, and you're like, wait, I'm not waking up for that anymore. This is so weird. What's next? What do I do next? I was fortunate enough to be able to perform with Cirque du Soleil, and I went on to perform in a BBC TV show called Tumble, where I got to teach celebrities how to do gymnastics. And my partner and I ended up winning. The show ended on like a Saturday night or something, and Monday I flew to New York and started performing with Pippin on Broadway. I did stunts and was part of the ensemble on that show. And when I accepted that job, I had no idea that that would be the last role that I would ever do as an acrobatic gymnast. While I was performing in Pippin, there was this trick where I was getting hit in the middle of the back on the landing. On one of the catches, I got whiplash and dislocated some ribs. I didn't really realize how bad it was until several months later. And it turned out that that trauma to the middle of my back had actually caused internal bleeding. And that bleeding formed scar tissue in and around my spine. I lost function of like this whole side of my abs and my back. Everything hurt. And I was pretty much completely immobile. So I wasn't responding to any kind of normal treatment. You know, the doctors couldn't tell me a recovery time. They really didn't know how to fix it or what to do. So it was all just kind of an experiment. So I ended up having to have about 17 procedures to help clear out the scar tissue and try to repair some of the nerve damage. I think it was probably around the maybe 10th surgery that I had that he kind of sat me down and was like, you need to start thinking about what you're going to do next. It took me a really long time to be able to say, I'll never perform again. But there are just some things that life gives to you that you have to kind of accept and deal with. And you can't just figure it out through working hard. Now it's been 2 years since my injury on Broadway. I'm still in physical therapy 3 to 4 days a week. It's something I'll be working on for a really long time, and I finally accepted that. You know, I might not ever be able to do crazy acrobatic tricks again, but I am hopeful that I'll be able to get pretty much all of my function back. You know, be able to carry my future children or run around with them. I'm really grateful for that. For the first time I'm a full-time student, I think that that's been a huge part of me kind of coming out of the depression, and I've had kind of been forced to redirect and kind of discover what's next and what I love now. And I've definitely found that through school. School's sort of given me a new sense of purpose and helped me find something to work hard at. I just finished my freshman year and I'm excited to keep going. I think the biggest thing that I discovered is that your career can never be the most important thing. People always should, in your relationships, should always come first. I sort of had to face the hard truth that there are two different motivators in life. And I think one is sort of selfishly motivated, where you're going after something for you and to validate yourself, and then the other is being motivated through generosity and wanting to give to others. Thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Kristin Allen, and make sure you like, comment below, tell us about your struggles, and most importantly, subscribe to the Lala.